Welcome to Wellness 360, everyone. Whether you're a longtime viewer or tuning in for the very first time, we're excited and grateful to have you here with us. No matter where you are, watching on screen or listening on the go, together, we're here to make this season one of personal transformations, emotional discoveries, and spiritual growth. At Wellness 360, our mission is clear: to provide fresh perspectives, to sometimes challenge widely accepted misconceptions, and to share with you various tools to support your well-being. Now, over the past few seasons, we've expanded globally to 14 new countries, and we've connected you with a few extraordinary spiritual leaders, several doctors of different disciplines, including a world-renowned cardiologist, and healers, plus wellness experts who have shared powerful stories of transformation and scientific or nutritional innovations. But perhaps, most importantly, we celebrate the ancient wisdom that continues to shape our paths as we learn together. It all starts with a step forward, one decision to learn something new, and one new perspective. Don't forget, we advise you to always do your own research when you're considering the advice and information shared by our guests, because the power to choose what's right for you is yours alone. And of course, if you're looking for a more personalized coaching relationship, feel free to reach out at wellness360carmen@gmail.com. I'm here to support you in your search for better health, clarity, joy, and abundance, because everything is within reach with a little work and the right guiding hand. I suspect today's episode will resonate with those who honor the teachings of our ancestors and indigenous wisdom. And we have a very special guest, a remarkable healer and medicine woman whose work is deeply rooted in the sacred traditions of her community. Sewa Valencia is a widely respected Yaqui, Apache leader, culture bearer, and medicine woman who has dedicated over 3 decades to serving her community. Rooted in the wisdom of her ancestors, she has cultivated a profound connection to the medicine of the drum, using its sacred rhythm to bridge worlds, heal hearts, and awaken a collective memory. You'll find her voice is woven with prayer and intention and calls forth the universal heartbeat that unites all beings. She serves as a sweat lodge leader, storyteller, and ceremonial singer, guiding others through the power of the oral traditions and sacred sound. Beyond the indigenous practices, Sewa has also immersed herself in diverse spiritual traditions and is a certified breath coach, yoga practitioner, and interfaith community leader. Sewa has been invited to share her wisdom at universities and institutions, where she offers a space for people to learn, to listen, and remember the sacred ways of being in relationship with the land, spirit, and one another. Through her organization, the Intertribal Women's Circle, called the Sisters of the One Drum, Sewa has created a powerful space for healing, connection, and unity. With each gathering, and this is important, she lifts voices in unity, reminding the world that the drum is not just an instrument, but a living teacher, one that carries the heartbeat of Mother Earth, the echoes of the ancestors, and the prayers of future generations. I'm honored to welcome my sister, my friend, and our guide, Sewa Valencia. Hello, Sewa. I'm so happy you accepted my invitation to join us here on Wellness 360.
I am so grateful to be here. And thank you, first and foremost, 360 Wellness, for giving this opportunity to the community to find a way home. There's no one way, there's many ways. And so bridging the gap in the way that you do, I am so grateful to be a part of and support this way of healing for the community, for the collective, for all my relations.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. What I have to ask you before we get into our session today, when I asked you to be on Wellness 360, What was your first reaction? What did you first think? And why did you accept?
Well, I'm going to be fully transparent and vulnerable right now. So my first initial was, wow, that's amazing that they have a space for community to receive, to learn different modalities, practices. Back when we'd have to travel everywhere to learn different ways of being, and you're bringing it right into their living room, into their phones, into technology. And so I thought, wow, that's incredible. But I wanted to say no. Why? Because as you see me here on the camera, you see this adult woman that has done many things. The one thing that I'm learning and practicing and fully immersing myself in is learning how to read and write. So here I am before you, learning as an adult woman how to read and write. So these spaces and places scare me. It's not a place that I'm comfortable with. And in order for me to grow as a person and to deepen and receive the blessings that Creator has for me, I have to say yes to things. I have to know that beyond the fear, there's more love than I could ever imagine or know. So just say yes and allow this blessing to unfold, because if it wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't have been asked. So I say these words because I come to you open hearted. I don't come with an agenda. I don't come with things written out in what I know. I come as I am. I will only share with you what has been my journey. I won't speak of anything that I don't know. So I'm here, open, vulnerable, grateful to be with this incredible community.
Thank you, Siwa. Thank you for being so open with me. And I'm glad that you brought this up, because I think that is part of really the at the core of everything that I try to do, is to make sure that the people that I invite into my different worlds, I travel in different circles, I do different things, but my main goal is to be with the people that I care about, that I'm getting to know. I want them to feel safe no matter who they are, no matter what their circumstances, no matter where they're from. I want people, if I had to say, what do you want in your tombstone? What I would want, oh gosh, okay. What I would want is for it to say that I helped to make people safe, to help them feel safe around me and in my community. So thank you for saying yes.
But I felt safe. And I shared that earlier with you. This is the first interview that I'm ever doing in this way. And I said yes because I knew you knew my heart. I knew you knew my story and my fears. And I knew that I could do this with you because I was with somebody that sees me as I am, honors me as I am, in humility and divine grace, as I honor you. You are my sister. And I'm so grateful. And I said, yes, what a better way to have your first interview with somebody that sees you, that makes you feel safe, that knows and has been a part of what it is you offered and shared and asked you. Yes, yes, you do this so beautifully. And you also inspire me to know that it is possible for me to do the same.
Thank you.
And I speak in my language, we say, luturia etehuk, and that means truth has been spoken. And so that's what I say to you. Luturia etehuk, truth has been spoken. I feel safe, and this is why I'm here.
Thank you. I can't tell you what this means to me. And I know I have some questions for you, but for those people that perhaps need to hear a story of how people can connect, how women can connect with one another, I just wanted to share just briefly. I met you because I was a co-producer at an event where they were filming the work that you were doing. And I was backstage, I was behind the scenes, which is where I'm most comfortable, really. and you looked into the camera. They were filming your ceremony that you were doing at this event in Colorado last summer. And you looked into the camera, and just like you are right now, so authentic and so real, you spoke to the camera. And I swear to you, I thought that you were speaking only to me. But you said you were thanking the organization, Earthstock, for inviting you to be a part of this week-long, summit. And you said to the camera, and I don't know if you remember, but you said, thank you for seeing us, because
Yes.
we, as Sisters of the One Drum, are not always welcome
Yes.
in certain places. And it broke my heart, but I was
Mm.
also mesmerized. I was mesmerized because you were so courageous and brave to say that. And I knew in that moment that I had to meet you and the rest of the sisters that were there. And then you, in turn, later on, gave me one of the greatest gifts of my life, because I felt like I saw you and I heard you, and I wanted to connect with you and reach out to you. But you all gave me an even greater gift.
Yes, we put you in the middle of our circle and we sang to you the honor song. I remember that moment.
Yes, you did.
And it is truth in what you spoke, because we are women on the ceremonial drum, the grandmother drum. Some call it powwow drum.
Right.
We are not welcome in many spaces. And I am not here to say what I'm doing is right or wrong. I'm here to only do what was asked of me. And I do it for the love of Creator and for the love of my sisters. So that's why I do what I do. I was told in my prayer time to gather the women around the ceremonial drum for the soul, SOUL, purpose of healing. That's the only instructions I was given. And I said, Creator, I don't know if I have the courage to walk through that fire. It's hard enough being a woman on a hand drum, let alone a grandmother drum, a ceremonial drum. However, I will follow wherever it is you send me. But because I want to know that this is of your making, you'll bring forth my first drum. And sure enough, one drum came, two, three, four, five, six, and so forth and so on. And that is why we do what we do. That is why I do what I do. And I do it with certainty because I know why I do it. I do it for the love of Creator, because that's who asked for me to take on this journey and walk this path. And let me tell you, it has been a painful path. I've been shut out of many communities that I've been a part of. However, the blessings that I get to witness, that I get to be a part of, watching the women lift their voice in this universal pulse, this prayer, I call it the universal song, has been so beyond empowering. And not even empowering in the sense of, empowering in lifting us to the remembrance of who we are as women, as mothers, as daughters, as aunties, as sisters, as grandmothers, healing the parts of us so that we can become stronger as women, so we can support the men, our husbands, our fathers, our sons, giving birth to strong, beloved souls, because we have done the healing. So we're breaking the cycle of past, present, and future all at the same time through this medicine of the drum. And so I will continue to do it until Creator says differently.
I'm
And
so
so,
grateful. I'm so grateful that you are doing this for a personal level because of my experience. But also, let's talk about the drum as it pertains to healing. What is the medicine of the drum, and why? Why is it so powerful for those people who have never experienced something like I was so blessed to have, or that have never read about or never heard about this. Can you explain it to them? Why is this so powerful? Why is it so necessary?
That's a big question. And the answer is way beyond my understanding. So I will only speak it in the way it comes to me, because each and every person will find their way to the drum, and it'll become the medicine in the way they understand. So for me, the medicine of the drum, and keep in mind, I'm on, and it goes even for a hand drum, but on the ceremonial drum, we have the responsibility to be the caretakers of this four-legged, this soul that walked this earth, that carried a vibration, that carried medicine, that carried a knowing, but their voice isn't heard until we play it, until that pulse comes through. Dun, 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 dun. Their prayer is not heard until we lift our voice with the medicine of the drum. And there's a drum in every culture for the remembrance of our connection to our heartbeat, because we forget this heart here. This is the first drum.
Right.
This is our first drum that we need to know, that we get to know. And everybody that is here knows that first song, that first heartbeat, that first rhythm, the pulse of their mother, the pulse of their grandmother, and so forth and so on. So the drum is a place where you walk in both worlds. You're walking in both worlds with the drum, and you're connecting to everything that is. Everything that is energy, everything has a pulse, everything has a rhythm. And so when you connect with the drum, you're connecting to your true being, your true self. I was told that our first heartbreak is at our birth, our separation from that pulse that we knew, that kept us safe, that guided us, that we knew the pain, we knew the joy, we knew the laughter. And so we spend this lifetime to learn our pulse, to learn our rhythm, to learn our heartbeat. So when you add that drum, that understanding that connects each and every one of us, it's beyond anything that I can speak of, because it's so much more than I could ever express in my words. So everybody will find their own way to the drum, but you do it with great reverence, with responsibility. It's not okay to, oh, I just want to make a drum because it's hip and cool. No, understand there's a responsibility in taking that life of that four-legged, or that life being taken, that now it's your responsibility to share its gift, its medicine, its knowing, its prayer. The drum echoes. Why? Because you're sending out a prayer and you're receiving a prayer. You're sending out a prayer and you're receiving a prayer. It's the echo of our ancestors. And so that's the beauty. That's just a little part of what it is, because there's so much more to it. But that's just a little taste until you find your way home to your own heartbeat, this first one.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that wisdom and the knowledge. Just again, for someone who didn't know what we were talking about. I also want to talk about another meaning. I know that your name has a special meaning behind it. How does the meaning of your name and your heritage tie into your role as the medicine woman, as, playing the drum? How does that all tie together, Sewa?
Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Chokwe Otesia, thank you. You know, my name, my birth name is Marcia, but that was never to be my name. My name was Marcelina, but because my mom and my dad didn't know how to spell Marcelina, when they were filling out the birth certificate, they told the person, Marcelina is her name, but they put Marcia.
Sure.
And I never felt like a Marcia. It never felt right for me. So when my elder said, I remember walking in so clearly, walking in with my drum. And she says, look right at me, right through me, and says, your name is Sewa. Immediately I felt, Sewa? She says, yes. Sewa in our language means flower. It's such a part of who we are as Yoeme Yaqui peoples. That is your name. That is your name. And it took me, and I say this, it took me over 10 years to step into that name because I didn't feel worthy of that name. I didn't feel as if I knew enough. Who is that? Who is that person? So it took me over 10 years to step and to walk into that name because there's a responsibility in being Sewa. There's a responsibility in calling myself and holding that energy and that vibration and that sacred responsibility that my elder gave me the minute she saw me. So stepping into the name Sewa was stepping into the life that I'm choosing to live, the medicine I'm choosing to bring forward, and the gifts of my peoples. So it's not just, oh, okay, you're gifted a name. No, it's a responsibility of walking that way, remembering where and who you are and the life that you chose to live. So it was in the making. It was in the making. And so every time I would go to our pueblo, our reservation, and they would call me Sewa, and then I would come home and they would call me Marsha, it was so confusing. And then the grandmothers, I was teaching the grandmothers the medicine of the drum, and I was teaching them songs. And so they said, your name is Sewa, and we're going to ask you, and we're going to tell you, no more will you be called Marsha. You need to remember the name that you are, the name we gifted you, and who you are. And you are Sewa Valencia. And that day that I left the reservation, I have called myself Sewa, and I have not. Now I tell my family when they call me Marsha, I'm like, she's no longer. Yes, I answer to both because I was Marsha longer than I was Sewa, but Marsha was never Marsha. I was never meant to be Marsha. But in my heart, I was always meant to be Sewa. And it wasn't until my elder looked at me and looked through me and held me, and she held me so tight, and she says, your name is Sewa. Inepo Sewa Teak. That's who you are. And so, yes, that's a responsibility to walk in that world, the flower world, which is the Sewa Ania.
Well, I have to apologize because I remember being told by someone else your name, and so I've been pronouncing it Siwa. So I have to apologize because I will not do that any longer. Sewa, what happens when we gather in that circle? What energy is activated when you start playing the drum and the healing begins?
There's so many gifts that are happening all at once. So I'm going to take those that their heart is open, and I'm going to take you on a visual journey. So imagine you as sisters, as a community, setting up that drum together, laying that tobacco, putting down this beautiful blanket, giving the drum some water, anchoring it, putting your chairs around the drum, sitting knee to knee with each other, shoulder to shoulder, being willing to come together in that universal pulse. Because as I said earlier, we all have our own pulse, our own rhythm, our own heartbeat. You have to be willing to surrender your own way of being your own pulse to come into the universal pulse so that we can sing the song of creation. And because everybody has been gifted and was sung into being, you have your own tone. So each voice matters in this collection and collective of prayers. So we're creating this sacred circle of prayers together in that universal pulse, and we have to be willing to fully surrender so we can sing the song of creation. Every voice matters. Every voice is needed, because if your voice is not part of the circle is not complete. So when we are on the drum and I look at each of my sisters and those around and those that we're praying for, I'm connecting with you, past, present, future ancestors. We're praying for your children and your children's children. And we're asking you to join in that heartbeat with us so that we can create this sacred circle, create this universal prayer that goes out above our knowing, beyond our feeling, because it's so vast and it reaches so far. And our ancestors come together. Your ancestors meet my ancestors and they just join in because their voice is being heard. You're bringing your voice of your ancestors. I'm bringing my voice of my ancestors. And together we're creating this ripple. It's as if we're throwing that first rock into the water, and that smallest ripple starts, and then it ripples and ripples and gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, further than we can see. That's what we're doing on the ceremonial drum together as a collective, coming into that understanding, that oneness, not sameness, oneness, not sameness. And we're bringing a prayer for each and everybody that is there. Their prayers being heard, their prayers being felt, and their prayers being answered. And that's what we're doing. I know it without question. I know it. And that's why everybody feels something when the drum is on, whether it's good or bad, tears, uncertainty, because it's moving something within you, and it's also going through all the mycelium as well to the earth. And we're singing for the four-legged, the winged, the swimmer, the crawlers, our beloved ocean beings. We're singing for all that is. We're singing for creation. We're singing for creation. We're singing for everything and everyone, because we are all of that at once. When we breathe in, we're taking in everything and everyone. When we breathe out, we're becoming one with everything and everyone. And that's the beauty of the drum of our prayers as a community, as a collective, and as a universal pulse. I probably said too much and I can probably say more, but whew.
No, this is not too much. This is just perfect. Thank you. Every time that I speak with you or text with you, I learn something new. And, it just fills my heart because I feel that connection growing. I feel like we need more of this in the world, Sewa. We need more leaders and healers like you, especially during these times that are so crazy, so unprecedented. I think there's a lot of young people looking for this type of connection, looking for this type of wisdom. And that's part of the reason why Wellness 360 exists. We know from statistics that a lot of young people spend the majority of their time live streaming. They're streaming their news, their information, their education. They're streaming their entertainment. So that's part of the reason why coming together like this, and I think that you and I probably need to do other interviews. I have so many questions for you. But this is one of the reasons is we want them to find us. We want them to find this conversation and maybe be drawn in by something that you were so eloquent in sharing with us today. So thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you give not just here, but in the work that you do in general. Before I let you go, I have two more questions.
Okay.
For people that are seeking, for young people, for older people, for people that are feeling lost and disconnected, for those people that want to reconnect with their roots, but they don't necessarily know how, what is your message for those people that are seeking that reattachment to their ancestors, to their heritage, to their roots?
It starts with you. It starts with you asking that question and being willing to deepen and deepening to yourself, because it will open. What I know, I'll just share this, because this is what I smile, and it makes me, it brings me joy, because why? Every time, and I've seen this over and over and over, we have brought people to the drum. They have found their way back home. They have found their way back to their roots. The door opens, because when we're singing together and drumming together, we're calling in their ancestors. Even if they don't know who they are, we're calling them in. We're calling them in. And that seed, that semilla, is being planted within them. And so the door's starting to open, the light's coming through, and now they're starting to ask more questions. Who am I? Who are my ancestors? And our first ancestor is our mother. And then we can go from there. So start asking questions, start seeking, be willing to go to places and spaces that you may not feel comfortable, and see what it feels like. See what it feels like. Check in. If it feels right, continue this journey. But we got to start with prayer. We have to know why. And with certainty, what is it that I'm longing for? What is it that I hope for? Meeting my ancestors and getting to know my ancestors is only going to bring you closer to yourself. Yes, yes. Okay. And some of us may not have had a good relationship with our mother, but that doesn't mean that we still can't build that relationship within ourselves. And so for those that are seeking and those that are willing to venture to new spaces and places, I say yes. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to the possibilities. Say yes to what can unfold, to rebirthing new ways of being, and challenge yourself to learn something new, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, even if it doesn't feel right now. If it doesn't feel right now, be with that. Be with that. Sit in that. And you'll find your way home. You'll find your way to whatever it is you're seeking, whatever it is you're longing, but know what it is you're longing for. That's what I would say. Know what it is you're longing for. What is it that you need? Because everything you need is within yourself. What is it? Is it community? Is it music? Is it dance? Is it deeper connection? Because the connection that needs to deepen is the one within yourself. So first, get to know yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, ask yourself beautiful questions, journal, meditate, sing, pray, dance it out, move it out, write it out, whatever it is that brings you joy. Do that, and do more of that. And then find your community, find your peoples that are willing to do that with you. And if it hasn't been created, then create it for yourself and invite people. Yes, that's what I would say. I would say, yes, little by ways, make your way. That's what my grandfather tells me. I want to say that because my grandfather tells me, little by ways, sweetie daughter, little by ways, you will make your way home. And so all of you that are seeking, that maybe feel lost or uncertain, and don't be afraid to ask those questions, because what I found out recently from the sisters that have been coming to our circle, they said, we've been intimidated by you Indigenous women. And I said, sister, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you felt that way. Wow. They said, because we're white women and, we know what has happened in the past. And I said, no, 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 we're not doing that anymore here, because we need you in order to create a new way of being, a new world, in order to heal the past. We can't keep bringing the past into our present. So you're needed in order for us to create the sacred circle. Because if you're missing, the circle is not complete. And it really hurt my heart to hear that they felt intimidated by us because of the past. And I said, we don't do that any longer. So I'm telling you, viewers, please ask questions, step out into places and places and spaces that you may not feel comfortable. Be willing to do that. Come in humility, come in grace, and then ask permission, ask permission in the most sacred way, because when you're doing things from the heart, there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong when it comes from the heart. So for us at Sisters of the One Drum, all are welcome on the ceremonial drum, on our grandmother drum. All are welcome, each and every one of us, because there's a drum in every culture for that reason, for us to sit together and learn from each other, learn each other's songs, learn each other's prayers, learn each other's practices and ways with deep respect and honor for who we are as a collection of souls. And so I'm really asking you to push yourself a little bit, push yourself past that fear, because there's only love on the other side.
Oh, Sewa, thank you so much for what you just said. It is something that I have experienced and lived my entire life. And I'll share with you very quickly something that has happened to me my whole life. Whenever I've traveled, whenever I have been performing in front of an audience, and people come to me and they say, "Oh, are you Mexicana? Oh, are you Persian? Are you Greek? Are you from Nicaragua? Are you from all these different places?" And my response, my heart has always said, this is the most wonderful question, because what I felt, and like yourself, I can't speak for other people how they feel or how they would react. I think there's a lot of conditioning and a lot of previous behaviors that many people would be insulted or taken aback. My reaction has always been, I'm so honored that this person, whoever they are, from wherever they are, that they felt connected to me in some way, whether it was because I was singing for them or speaking to them or just traveling in their country, that they felt like, oh, I know you, or I want to get to know you. And so my response has always been, no, I'm not, but thank you. And thank you for thinking that we have this connection, because now we do. My name is
Yes.
Carmen, and so I feel like there's something about self segregation that I know that in the past or even now, that it is a survival mechanism, and I understand that. But like you said, if we're going to create a new world, a new way of being, I think when someone is trying to connect with you
Mhm.
through maybe their most precious thing is their ethnicity, their heritage, their ancestors, to me, it's an honor. So I love what you have shared with us today. And I just wanted to share that little bit too, to add to that.
Mhm.
I understand and I appreciate and I honor the old ways, but sometimes we have to modify and adapt those old ways for the new way, for the future.
Yes.
And I know that some people get angry and upset, or are they just, it's too much for them. And I understand that, but I don't see any other way for us to move forward past all the
Mm.
collective pain.
Yes, I agree. I agree. You know, in order for us to be the change, we have to be willing to, you know, I tell the sisters and all those that we are, when we're together on the drum, yes, we come in oneness, not sameness. So see me as I am, and I'll see you as you are. I'll see you for the medicine that you are, and you see me for the medicine that I am. And collectively, we're going to change the world, because you're not trying to be me. I'm not trying to be you. We're being 2, 3, 4. You know, sometimes we'll have, 15 to 100 women on the drum, and each we say, come as you are. Bring your gifts, show up in your medicine, lift your voice, because your voice is needed. Without your voice, we're not complete. And without your voice, we're not going to sing the song of creation. We're not going to do the healing that is needed in the world right here, right now, more than ever. We women have to be willing to do and bring forth that change, and not, again, try to misappropriate anybody's culture or anything in that way. Be in your medicine, I'll be in mine, and together we're going to create something amazing, because you're you and I'm me, and I could see you and you could see me, and I honor you, and we can both show up together. Nobody in front, nobody behind, nobody above, nobody below, shoulder to shoulder. We're going to walk in this way. And that's, you know, what we are trying to build as Sisters of the One Drum. So thank you for that. And please take your place, everybody. Take your place. It is time for you to take your place, because you are needed in the world. Your voice needs to be heard and felt so that we can bring this change.
Absolutely. And that brings us to the full circle from where we started at the beginning of the conversation. See how beautiful this is? Thank you, Sewa. Thank you for joining me today. And before I let you go, how do people connect with you? How do they learn more about the Sisters of the One Drum and the work that you all are doing?
Well, I will apologize because I am not savvy at social media. It's not a place that, our ceremonies and what we offer was always word of mouth. Whoever's there was meant to be there. And we put an Instagram, and we're Sisters of the One Drum, all one word, because people were saying, we can't find you. We need to know what you're doing. We are a nonprofit. I say we're a organization, disorganization, because it's guided by Creator. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can find us on IG at Sisters of the One Drum, and email Sewa, SEWA, at sistersoftheonedrum.org. We are working on a website currently, and can use any help. If anybody wants to offer some help with that, yes. Everything that we do comes out of our own pocket, out of Sisters. We don't know much about grants and things like that. So we welcome your help too with all of that as you join us, as we come together in this amazing community. I'm thankful for this opportunity to meet all of you. So Sisters of the One Drum, come drum with us, come sing with us, come lift your voice, invite us. We say yes.
Perfect. That was just perfect. I'm so glad you said yes to me. Thank you, Sewa. Thank you for being here, for sharing all of this incredible, powerful wisdom, knowledge, but mostly your heart. Thank you.
Chokwe Otesia, thank you. Se imete waiwarim, all my relations.
Thank you. And to everyone watching, To everyone listening to us, you can get more information about Wellness 360. You can find us on the socials. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can find us. Trust me, we're there, and we can connect you to the Sisters of the One Drum. If you're having a problem, just email me at wellness360carmen@gmail.com. And we also have our QR code at the end of this episode where you can connect with us. And if I can help you get connected to the Sisters of the One Drum, to Sewa Valencia, I'm more than happy to do that. Other than that, I think we're going to end this on this beautiful, beautiful, just sacred space. I feel like hopefully we created that for you as well. And I don't know what else to say other than I would love for you to come back at another episode. There's so much more that we can talk about. But for now, we're going to say goodbye to everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Coach Carmen, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Bye now.